Okay, good morning, everyone. It's good to see each and every one of you again. I want to begin by talking just a moment about praising Ian's talk from last week. I thought it was just really cogent, well presented, and I just loved it. It was right there in my wheelhouse, as they say, as far as the way that I view how unity should be viewed. It's a you don't leave your mind at the back door as you enter. You can take it with you, and it's a great combination of science and spirituality. And that's the thing that attracted me to begin with, and I continue to be attracted by. The thing that impressed me, one statement he made that I really liked, is he said his friends say that all he's talking about when he was talking about the type of science that people are using now, and how it all began and what it is, and how there's a connection between the observer and the and what is being observed and all that. I really enjoyed that, but he said that he had friends who say that, as far as they're concerned, that proves atheism. And he was saying, wow, I see it just the opposite way. I see it as proving spirituality existing because of the connection between the thoughts held in mind and what they are producing after their kind. So I thought that was wonderful. The law of mind action in proof, right there within science. What I wanted to talk about today is something that happened to me long, long ago on the island of Hawaii. It was in 1987. I had moved there in 1986 and on the big island of Hawaii. And in 1987, my partner at the time, my then wife, was working for the West Hawaii Today newspaper. And because news always got there a little bit late because of the extension way out there on the islands and so forth, I always called it West Hawaii Yesterday instead of West Hawaii Today. But that's just my little joke, kind of like the pina colada joke that I also invented while I was out there. Now, one day they were dedicating a new observatory up on top of Mauna Kea, one of the mountains there in Hawaii. There's two main mountains, Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa. So Loa means long, long mountain, and Kea means the mountain facing the sea, or the sea mountain. Kea means sea. So I got to go up there with her, and the then Prince of England, Prince Charles, was there to dedicate it. And I didn't get to meet him or anything. I had to stand way off to the side where he was protected. But they had him go up there, and because she was a reporter, she had her pass, the badge on and everything, press badge. She got to go up close. That was real nice and everything. But then I discovered, when reading the literature about it, that the entire thing was built on springs holding up the entire structure. And I thought, well, what's that for? And it was to overcome the natural disturbance of the curvature and the spinning of the earth. There's a slight tremor that occurs as the earth turns. It doesn't just spin through space. It's got this atmosphere that kind of makes it move in a kind of a tremoring way, and it's so slight that we wouldn't even notice it. We don't, none of us, but it is noticed when they try to take radio pictures, radio photographs through this observatory. Now, it's not the old type of observatory. None of them are anymore. They don't have a man sitting up there with his eye looking through a big giant telescope any longer on the newer ones. They are all just radio pictures, what they call radio photographs. They send a signal out, and the signal comes back eventually, I guess, and that's how they view things through this spectroscope of radio waves.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get your coffee.
Oh, okay, I'll set it up for us.
Somebody's not muted. There we go. All right. So then, I observed that, and I thought, it's all on springs. How strange, that this big, heavy building is built on these springs in order to protect it like that from this disturbance. After listening to Ian's talk, I started thinking about what is it that causes us to not be fully connected in the present moment to spirit. What causes us as humans? So I decided it's basically the 3 Ds, as I want to call it, the 3 Ds. The first one is disturbance. We have within us that little tremor that causes a disturbance that doesn't allow us to really allow our fully recognized spiritual being to be present and not affected or disturbed by the physical being that we are. We have ears, we're distracted by sounds, we're distracted by, let's say in meditation, when we're fully present trying to connect with the universal spirit. Part of the problem is that we have little thoughts going doot, 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 all in our mind. We have in us also memories that pop up. We have the sounds in the outer that are occurring in all sorts of ways. It may be the humming of the refrigerator motor. It may be the birds outside cawing and cheeping and twerping and giving us enjoyment, but we are still in that way of we are disturbed by it. We have within us our heart beating. We have not only our thoughts, but we have the physical blood circulating in our body through our heart. We have our breath coming in and out. We have all these things that can be part of the disturbance from not allowing ourselves to be fully present and connected, as it were, with universal spirit. The second D is distraction. Now, some of the things I already spoke about are distractive. Some of them are sounds, odors, smells, any number of things that occur in our natural being. It could be anything from, I know that at one time I wore a watch with a ticking sound that I could, when I had good ears, I could actually hear my little Hopalong Cassidy watch ticking. And I no longer have that watch, and I no longer have a need to wind a watch any longer, or overwind it as I did with Hoppy. But I have had situations where I could hear a clock on the wall ticking, going tick, 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 while I was trying to concentrate. Little tiny things that occur. The hot water tank suddenly comes on and you hear the gas flow into it from rooms away, or the air conditioner outside, you suddenly hear the compressor kick on. Any number of things that can be distractions, along with those thoughts and feelings that we might have. Those also can be distractions. Not only do we have all these distractions that we have to overcome and these disturbances that happen in the outer and in the inner, we have the third one. And this one is one that affects probably every one of us, every last one of us, everyone on the planet to some degree or another. And that is disbelief. We carry that with us all the time. We start out saying to ourselves, I am a spiritual being. I am fully blessed and connected with the greater spirit of all that is. And I am connected now. Sort of. Maybe. In a minute. A little later. When I'm feeling really good. I don't feel that good right now. Any number of things can occur within us that we think and believe. We can say, all the people that exist on this planet are children of God, except for the ones that didn't vote like I voted, except for the ones that live in a different country, except for the ones who have different colored skin, except for the ones, and we do this. We all do it to some degree or another. We may not have the beliefs that I just now expressed. We may not have them, but they exist as disbeliefs in the idea that all are protected, all are eligible, all have within them this pure spirit which exists not only in us but in them. We have within us an idea of us and them, a separation. And this separation causes disbelief. But the pure disbelief within each and every one of us exists, that we don't believe that we deserve to be blessed. We don't believe that we deserve to be prosperous, healthy, needed. We don't believe that we are fully loved or that we are lovable. We have within us these ideas, these disturbances, these distractions, and these disbeliefs that keep us from connecting with pure spirit. You know, Jesus, there's a story of Jesus going into the temple and seeing all these money changers in there, as you well know this story probably, becoming so upset with the money changers in there, not only because they're in there, but that they are making the exchange of money in such a way that they are cheating or that they are not fully bargaining properly with the people that they are exchanging these monies or whatever it is that they may be exchanging. Because the money changers were there supposedly to make things easier for people, but instead they made them more difficult. He didn't like that. He didn't like it one bit. Part of the reason he didn't like it was because he knew they were cheating. Secondly, he didn't feel like it was really a spiritual thing to have people changing money and doing all this sort of stuff in the temple. And thirdly, he didn't like the idea that they were keeping people from having a true spiritual experience because the people felt they had to buy it. They had to buy that experience. He wanted them out of there. He wanted full exchange directly person to God, as opposed to person to exchanger to God. He didn't want that. So he was against not only the money changers, but he was also against the spiritual class, because the spiritual class in his time, the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the Levite priests, the priestly class. When I said spiritual class, I actually meant priestly class within the temple. They had developed a system where people had to go through the priest to be able to express their belief and their desires to God. Very, very difficult. Now, this was carried out then through into the Catholics who had the same idea that, well, if you wanted to approach God, you had to go through the priest to do that. A lot of people still have that belief. They believe that you have to go in private and have a meeting with the pastor in the church in order to have a spiritual expression with God or Holy Spirit or whatever you wish to call it. El Adonai, God of gods. However you wish to express it, that's what a lot of people believe. And they don't have this idea within them that Jesus was trying to express by driving these people out of the temple, that these people are not necessary for you, me, or anyone else to have an experience directly with pure spirit. All we've got to do is allow ourselves, and this is a process that may take some teaching after a while, because we have to discipline and teach our minds, our bodies, our beliefs to have that pure experience. That's not easy. It takes practice, practice, practice for that to happen. Now, I was not a very good person when it came to meditation. I had this problem of going to sleep while I was meditating. I would relax and just, next thing I knew, I was being awakened by whoever was around me. And now it's time for us to all come back. Well, that's great, but where have I been? I had no idea. Dreaming, having all these things, which was part of distraction, part of disturbance within me, and also part of disbelief. You may be able to connect directly with experience, with the pure spirit experience, but not me. And that was sort of my belief. It's possible, but not for me. I continued on and went to ministerial school, where we would have a 45-minute meditation every morning. At 7:30, we would meet in the Fillmore Chapel, and we would have a greeting from the director, whoever it was, and then that person would guide us into meditation, and we would sit in the silence for about 30 minutes out of that 45. Well, yes, I did the same thing as I had done before in church in Nashville when I was a congregant there. I'd fall asleep. I would then get to the point where I no longer fell asleep, but I'd have all these little thoughts and so forth going through my mind. Little pictures, on that screen inside your mind where the little pictures come up and active. And I remember one where I was chasing a fox and was hiding under a log, and where's that coming from? So I eventually got to the place where I had the experience of pure silence. And as soon as I was aware of it, I was no longer having the experience of pure silence. I would say to myself, I'm doing it. And of course, then it went away. I wasn't no longer doing it because I was an I again. Eventually, though, after 2 years in school, I was able, probably in about the second half of the second half of the second year, I was able to meditate in the silence and simply be. Am I able to do that still? No. It's not because of the disbelief. It's because I haven't allowed the discipline, the fourth D, the discipline, to continue. I didn't have a 7:30 meeting in a chapel. I didn't have all of that, which at first forced me, but later I enjoyed it so much. I no longer have that. So I do I meditate as often as I did before? Not by a long shot. Do I enjoy meditation when I go into meditation? Yes, I do. Am I able to get to that place in me, through me, where all is still and all is well? Rarely. Simply because I don't do it often enough. I am not fully connected. I have within me disturbances and distractions which allow my body, my mind, my earthly being to remain in charge. When that happens, the connection cannot be made. Now, I can still do this, and many of you do this as well. I have within me what I think, maybe I'm imagining it, but I believe that I have within me a still small voice that I can instantly connect to. I can say, oh gosh, it's been a long time, but here goes. God, are you there? And a voice inside me, very, very tiny, says, yes. What can I do that I'm not doing now to change things? You can visit more often. After I've visited and I'm connected with you, will you help me? Of course. Of course I will. That's what I'm for. I'm here, waiting, ready, and fully present. Wow. I did that this morning in the shower. I did it there. Now you may think that of all places, with the water coming down on you, yep, that's when I did it. That's when I heard the still small voice. That's when the still small voice helped guide me to give this talk. So I think it's important for us to remember that we have within us a sort of spring system that holds us apart from natural disturbance if we allow it to be there and allow it to do its job. We have within us a way through discipline to order and align all distractions and not allow them to become the full presence within us at any given time. While driving a car, I wouldn't recommend it. But at the same time, it is possible, at least, to hear the still small voice, even driving a car. It's present for you. The one that's probably the most difficult for us and anyone is to separate the idea of us and them and fully embrace all the individuals, all the very rocks, all that is, and see in it pure spirit, God. Once we are able to do that, and we can do it if we simply allow ourselves to do it, then the disbelief, the idea that we aren't worthy, the idea that others are not worthy will disappear. When that happens, then we too will be fully present and experiencing God. When that happens, then we can observe, connect, and rebuild our world and all the world around us. It is our responsibility. It is our responsibility to visualize world peace and to make it happen. Bring it forth. Bring it forth not only for us, but for everyone and everything. That's your job and that's my job. Let us go into the world now and believe it and do it. Thanks.